In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the letter T using a rubber band loom. So I have a rainbow loom, but you can do it on pretty much any loom that has pins set up in a straight row. We're only going to be needing to use one row of pins, so I have removed the other two, but if you have a loom that the pins don't come off, that's okay. You want to start with the arrows facing away from you, and I'm going to start on the very end. And I am going to be using doubled bands, so in order to do this you need to take your band and place it on your hook, twist, put it back on so that it is doubled. You can see there are two bands on the hook. It's going to make it tighter, and I'm starting from the end and I'm just going to move to that next pin up. And now I want to add 5 more rubber bands going up this row, and again I'm doubling all of these bands. So that's the second one, and I'm going to add another. So we have 3 on right now, and I want a total of 6. And we need to do one more here. And then for right now, we're just going to leave these bands on. You want to push all of them down and make sure they're at the very bottom of the pin, because we'll need to add some more on top of this. And now we're going to add 3 more bands starting at the top and working our way up the loom. Again, these are all going to be doubled. And now what we're going to do is turn the loom around so that the arrows are facing towards you. And where we ended this last rubber band, that third rubber band, we want to put a cap band. So in order to do that, I am going to take this rubber band and I want it to go on my hook 4 times. So I have it on once. I'm going to twist and put it back on for 2, twist, put it back on for 3, twist, and put it back on for 4. So you can see that there are 4 bands now on my hook. It's going to be very tight to get on. You want to slide them down to the end of your hook and you want to place it on top of this pin. You're going to stretch them out and just slide it right on top. It is going to be tight. And now what we're going to do is reach your hook down through this pin, and you want to push back on those top 4 bands. That is that cap band that we just put on. And now we want to grab those next 2 bands in line. We're not doing anything with the very bottom. You want to hold this cap band so it stays on, and you're just going to move those 2 bands up. And now we're just going to go down inside. Again, you're not doing anything with the very bottom bands. You're grabbing those top 2 bands and moving them up, and then finally you're going down through in the middle, grabbing the top 2 bands and moving them up. And now what we want to do is take these 3 bands off of the pins, but you want to make sure that it stays on this top pin. So with my one hand, I'm going to put my thumb over top of this so these bands don't come off, and then with my hook I'm going to reach down inside of this cap band. Again, we're just dealing with the top layer here, and release those. And now I want to turn this so it's facing outward. It's making a 90-degree angle here. And now we're going to turn the loom around. So once again, the arrows are facing away from you. And we're going to repeat that same step again. We're going to go the length of 3 pins. You can push this down And so again, we're doubling the band. We're placing it right on the top. And then repeat that. And then one more time, doubling. And now turn the loom around again. We need to place a cap band on this pin that we just stopped on here. So again, we're going to quadruple this so it's on once, twist and get it on again, twist and put it back on, and twist and back on, till you have 4 bands on your hook. If your bands seem to be really tight and you're really struggling to do this, you could just put it on your hook 3 times. Just triple that band. But I like to quadruple it. Again, it's going to be a very tight stretch. We're going to get it to go right on the top here. And now we're going to again repeat that, taking it off. You're going down through the middle of this pin, pushing back on those top 4 bands, grabbing those next 2. Again, we're not doing anything with the bottom bands. And just move it forward. And then just keep going up here, always grabbing those top 2 bands. And so now we want to again take this off, and so I'm going to put my thumb over top of this pin at the very top so it doesn't slip off as I'm releasing it, and I'm going to put my hook down through here where the cap band is and take these off. And now this time we want all of the bands to slide out to the left. It's going to form the other side of the top of the T. And now you can leave your loom in this same direction with the arrows facing towards you. And now we want to do one more cap band that we again are going to quadruple. So I wanted to have 4 bands on the hook. I'm going to place it on the very top of this end pin where the last band is. And then once again, I'm going to reach down inside, get those 4 bands to go behind my hook, and now I'm just going to grab the bottom 2, hold this cap band so it doesn't come off, and I'm just going to work my way straight up to the top. Now we are working with this bottom row that we had put on first. I'm just going straight up here. And now this end pin is going to be very full. And what you're going to do is take your hook, put it down through, and push it out to the side. You should have 1 band left. This is just going to be the band that's going to be looped at the top so in case you want to hang it, or it's going to hold all these other bands in place. You're going to pull it up through and put the other end back on your hook. And now you can take this off of the loom. Just make sure that you're holding on to these 2 loose ends on your hook, and this top one is going to be very tight to release because it has so many bands on it. So just be very careful as you're doing that. Make sure they're all coming off, and then just pull the rest. And now you have these 2 loose ends. What I like to do is take the end that's closest to the hook, pull it through the other one, and pull tightly. That makes a slip knot. And now for your T, you're going to have to adjust it a little bit because it does tend to want to curl up. So you want the top to be as straight as possible. So I like to just tug on these on both sides here. Stretch them out. And then as far as this bottom part, the same thing. You want to try and get them as straight as possible. And then you have your letter T. I hope that everyone found this simple to do. You can always leave me comments on YouTube or Facebook. Please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can stay up to date on all of my latest tutorials. You can also find me on Pinterest and Instagram, so please feel free to subscribe to those as well.